Greetings to the students in the New Testament Writings in Context class here at Lagrange College. This is your instructor, Dr. Larry Asplund, coming to you by the magic of online learning from St. Augustine, Florida. It's so great to be able to jump in once again with you. You know, kind of getting started in week one. In fact, we had a couple of new students that jumped in, and I want to be sure that they feel welcome and have a chance to get caught up. A couple of you had difficulty getting your book in time. I'm confident that as soon as it comes, you will catch up quickly. So, you know, this whole learning experience is going to come and go very fast, and so we want to be able to keep up together. I wanted to come in again this evening to welcome you to week two, just give you a sense of where we are in our class and what we want to accomplish in this coming week. The week two theme is the synoptic tradition. That refers to what are called the synoptic gospels, which are Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And of course, Luke also wrote the book of Acts, and so we include that under his authorship. It simply comes from the idea that these three gospels seem to have a fair amount of material in common. And so how did that work in the early church to be able to see together, which is what synoptic means, to be able to see the teachings of Christ, the ministry, etc., and the outworking of that together? It forms kind of a unified tradition, so we want to be able to look at those books together this week. The week two learning objectives, first of all, number one, to acquire a more complete understanding of the gospel writings and to think critically about their background and role in the early church. And you know, you'll discover that there are a variety of views. But, you know, we're going to take just kind of a straightforward approach when it comes to our reading and our understanding of those gospels and their meaning. Number two, to acquire an understanding of the book of Acts and its role in telling the story of the first church from that earliest days, the day of Pentecost, the birthday of the church, which we just had last Sunday, all the way to Paul ending up in Rome. So it's a very, very important story about the spread of Christian faith. Number three, to think critically about the reality of the first church in its context. I wonder what it would be like to be there back in those days, sharing a lifestyle of faith in Christ. And then number four, to reflect creatively on the experience of the first church and how that compares to our own experience of church. Again, that assumes you've had experience of church. Some of you have not. And so it's really your creative thinking will be more in terms of how you visualize, how you imagine the life of those early Christians might have been like. So our week two assignments, first of all, we have a couple of reading assignments. Remember, there is a link with those assignments for you to report your reading at the end of the week. Two reading assignments this week. We're jumping back into the text by Johnson and just read chapters 8 and 9 only this coming week. Also, we'll begin to read books in the New Testament. You're welcome to read the whole New Testament, but I'm going to pull out key books depending on our theme for the week. And so in week two, I want you to read the books of Matthew, Luke, and Acts. And you'll discover that your written assignment and your discussion assignment will be based on these readings. So you want to be sure to take the time first to do your reading and report your reading. Week two assignments also then includes, as you know, it will in every week a reflection essay. So this week, the topic is this: how does the Gospel of Matthew present the life and ministry of Jesus? How do you think that might have influenced the understanding and experience of early Jesus followers? How might it be relevant to your personal context? It might be relevant and it might not be relevant. This is a great opportunity to share and to have conversations about that very thing. Matthew, it is a thought wrote primarily to early Jewish believers in Jesus as the Messiah and has the most complete a reporting of the teachings of Jesus, so it's important to us for that reason. And then there is a discussion forum. Here is your prompt for the discussion this week. The book of Acts is volume 2 to the Gospel of Luke, providing an extended account of the spread of the gospel from Jerusalem to Rome. So discuss one element of the first church that impresses you as important to the spread of the gospel. So, when you read through the book of Acts, what stood out in your mind? Just one thing that really stood out in your mind as important for that story. So the idea of the synoptic tradition tries to explain, and there are a variety of theories, as to the connections between them. One of the more common theories is that Mark maybe wrote first. Mark was and in the end, he was kind of an associate to the Apostle Peter, and some would say his gospel reflects the preachings of Peter. It's short, it's focused on, in some cases, has the lengthiest reporting of the works of Jesus, the ministry of Jesus, which then fed into Matthew, which includes a significant amount of that, but also Matthew adds extended teachings, and then some would say that the two of those, along with other sources, influenced Luke's writing, etc. There are other theories as well, but there's no question that there are similarities between those, and of course then following up with the book of Acts, all of which are important to us in the New Testament. So it's going to be another great week. Once again, I'm looking forward to sharing it with you, enjoying learning together with you, enjoying watching you learn together from each other. So I'm always here for you, ready to respond to you quickly. My commitment is to communicate as quickly as I can. I'm kind of an email junkie, so I'm looking at your messages fairly frequently and often. So don't hesitate to let me know how I can serve you in this coming week. It's going to be a great week. God bless everybody. Just have a week 2.